All right. I guess it's the number 9 as far as the series, but this is the beginning of the actual Sefer. And the Chofetz Chaim starts the book saying, Amru Chazal, our rabbis have stated, the Gemara in Sota, Daf Yudalet, Darash Rav Simlai. Rav Simlai taught the following: Torah Tchilasa Gimilas Chosadim Besofa Gimilas Chosadim. The Torah starts with telling us the story of doing acts of loving kindness, and is ending. The entire Torah ends with a description of an act of loving kindness. How do we see that? Tchilasa Gimilas Chosadim Dechsi Vayasal Hashem Elokim La'adam Melishta Kosnas Arvi Al Vishem. We see at the beginning of the Torah that talks about acts of loving kindness, that Hashem created and made for man and his wife garments of leather that they should wear and have clothes to wear. The Sofa at the end of the Torah talks about acts of loving kindness. That Hashem buried Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem himself buried Moshe Rabbeinu. That's how the Torah basically ends. You see how the Torah, being that the beginning of the Torah tells us this story about Chesed, the end of the Torah tells you about Chesed. So you see, the whole Torah is, the thrust is to get us to understand how vital this midah is. And it's just at the beginning and the end. The whole Torah is filled with acts of loving kindness. As we'll explain soon. I just wanted to tell a little story, because the next paragraph is quite long and will be over the time that I wanted to try to make this under 4 minutes. There's a famous story about, there was a very poor person. They needed money to marry off an orphan and an orphan boy and an orphan girl, and there was no money. And there was this one fellow in the town who was just a real miser. He never gave any money. But there were 3 big rebbes that were together at the time, and they all thought, let's go there. We'll try to get money from the rebbe. And one of the said to the other, the youngest of the rebbes, I think it was that time was the Balatanya actually. He told the other 2 rebbes, he says, "Listen, let me do the speaking, and let's see what comes of it." And they go in there, and they say, we'd like to talk to you about helping us out. Helping you out? You want me to help you out? I said, yeah, there's an orphan boy, an orphan girl, and they need to get married. They have mamish nothing. Could you please help us out? He says, you know what? All right. So he goes to his safe and he opens up the safe. He pulls out this little box and he gives it to them. And says, here. They open up the box, and inside is a penny. And they're all looking at the Balatanya like, he just wasted a lot of time. And he's like, wow, thank you so much. This is obviously such a special coin. Thank you so much. Mamish, I appreciate it with all our hearts how much you gave us. Mamish is such an important thing for us. Tiskul and mitzvahs. And they start walking out. And they're all rumbling like, what did we just do? We wasted so much time. We should have gone to different cities to raise money for these people. And Baltani says, wait. And just as they're leaving the property, he says, you know what? On the second count, come back. Maybe I should give you a little bit more. They come back, and this time he opens up the safe again. This time he pulls out a nickel. And they're all like, oh boy, this is... And the Baltani says, oh, wow, unbelievable. I mean, you multiplied your gift by so many times. Tiskil and mitzvahs. Thank you so much. And they're walking out with the nickel. And they're like, that's crazy. And then they go back. As they're leaving, he calls them back again. And this time they give them $1. A silver dollar. It's already, something of value. And leaving the third time, he calls them back. And then this story goes on back and forth until he basically gives them the entire sum needed to marry off this young orphan Chassan and Kala. And they basically asked the Balatanya, how did you know to do this? Like, that's crazy. He said, let me tell you. It's basically from the Rambam. Basically, the goal of Hashem gave us mitzvahs to do. Now, this is not the Rambam, doesn't say this exactly. But we have mitzvahs that we're supposed to do. And what's the purpose of the mitzvah? The part of the purpose of the mitzvah is doing what's obligated to you. But the result, Hashem wants that the mitzvahs that we do will result in changing us into making us better people, making us more sensitive. So if the Rambam basically says, is it better for me to give $100 to one person or $1 to 100 different people? So again, assuming that that this will solve a person's whole problems if you gave him the whole 100, I'm not going to get into that specific. But assuming you're going to not be the only one changing a person's life, it's better for the giver to give many people than small amounts than to give one person a big amount. And he says because every action of giving builds those muscles. It builds the muscles and also gives a person more of a sensitivity and a desire to give. So the more we do and the more times we give over, then the more giving we become. I remember back in a yeshiva called Neve Tzion, it was in the mid-90s, we had a student there, his name was Eitan Ogorik. He's a holy master, and he was taking Divrei Torah from different one of the Rebbeim, and he, I'm not sure if he quoted me correctly, he made it up, but he attributed it to me, I'm not sure exactly how it went, but I said that we do mitzvahs so we'll become more aware, but we want to become aware in order to do more mitzvahs. So it's like kind of a cyclical thing, that part of the idea of a person giving is becomes more sensitive and wants to give again, and then you become more aware the next time, and then you'll give more. It's a kind of, it builds you up and it does the action. I'm not sure if I explained it so clearly, but the idea is the more actions of giving, the more of a giver you become. And this is part of what the Torah is. It starts off with chesed, it ends with chesed, and it's filled with acts of chesed in between. And that's really what we have to know, is that that's part of our life. Our life has got to be something that 24/7. Theoretically, I could be involved in chesed. 24/7? How? Well, if I'm going to sleep, I make sure I sleep in a position I won't snore and wake up my roommate, or all kinds of different things a person could do so that his day would be involved with chesed. So Hashem should bless us all that we should always be zocher to do acts of chesed and internalize this chesed, that we should be people actively searching out to do chesed, because mahu af ata. Hashem says, the pasuk he quoted here, the Chofetz Chaim, is very similar to another pasuk in the Chumash itself, which says, Ma Hashem Elokecha sho'il mi'imach. What does Hashem ask from you? Ki im lira as Hashem. L'davka, basically, to fear Him and to connect to Him, to cling to Hashem. How does a person cling to God? Is to act and imitate God's attributes. If God does chesed, then I got to do chesed. And the more I do things that are godlike, then the more connected I am. So Hashem should help us to internalize this and to actualize this and to be more davik to Hashem. And Bez Hashem will bring us closer to Bias Gol Tzedek and Heri of Amen.